Warning. The following podcast may cause you to change your understanding of what it really means to be a human being. Side effects may range from a minor loss to complete annihilation of ego, a feeling of merging with something bigger than previously conceived, and a deep, abiding peace. Please, continue at mortal risk to yourself as a separate entity. Welcome. Enjoy.
Ralph Lewis is connecting to audio. Connected.
Can you hear now?
No. Just kidding. Yes, I can.
Oh,
That's
okay,
my
so
joke
just-
when someone asks if I can hear them, and then I say no because it means that I heard the question.
Right. Of course you are. Hey, hi.
Hi. How are you, man?
I'm good. I'm being myself and trusting.
Yeah, right on. I trust you being yourself. The voice of Ralph Lewis.
And I trust you to lead me through this interview so that I stay focused, and because I don't feel like I'm coming to it with anything.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. That's good. We're, as I mentioned, I wanted to talk to you about self-love. And the day I was going to reach out to you to ask you if you'd be willing to do that, you put out this beautiful post that if with your permission, I'll share an audio version. Oh, I could share the video version too, if I can figure it out at the end of this episode. Is that cool?
Absolutely.
Cool.
Thank you.
So that I thought that was like one of those beautiful little synchronicities that happened.
Sure.
And that was your first one doing it. And like, it was great. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is awesome. And I didn't even know what it was about yet, that I was just like inspired to reach out to you then and there. And then I listened to it and it was like spot on. It was great. It was the, sort of the understanding of the struggle and difficulty of these times, and also realizing that we can see through the paradox of duality in being the Ralph voice and the Ken voice, which are absolutely and inextricably a part of the source. We are just an eminence of the source. Just
it's the source in appearance.
Yeah, the source in appearance. Yeah. The universe is happening through us right now. It's simultaneous. There's no disconnect.
I like to think of myself, or not think, but yeah, maybe, well, I'll just leave it at that, of myself as a unique frequency vibration of source energy in form.
Yeah, right on.
Yep. As is everything.
Everything, absolutely.
Yeah.
Its own unique.
So, but you were going somewhere with that about the paradox of.
Oh, well, oftentimes it's a tricky thing to talk about, because it's so full of paradox. We dual talk about the non-dual, and it gets all tricky with words, and so there's a seeming paradox, but there isn't. It's a simultaneousness of it's 5 fingers on the hand. It's still one hand. They're all connected.
Right. Never left the hand.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it was nicely said and resolved, and I'm glad I can share it at the end of this, and I look forward to just knowing that you were coming from that place, and that understanding is a part of you and comes through in your words and in being. I also, though I have this intention for the whole season really to steer it towards lovingness, because this is my little boat that I'm captaining, hopefully successfully with you here, and with whether I'm doing a solo show or with interviews, and I want to steer it towards love. And in this little boat, and whoever decides to join along for the ride, this is the nourishment I want to give. These are the fish that I want to pull out of the ocean and offer, for nourishment, because it's been the most beautiful experience for me to realize, even, awake at night while Illy is sleeping beside me. And at the time, the dog was sleeping, but, otherwise alone, consciously, to know that there is love in the world. And this happened through listening to some song I put on because I was up late. I put on some binaural sleep music, which I hadn't tried yet. And the first song that came on just felt so full of love.
Huh.
And I felt the loving intention that was put into the creation of this sound, of the song, the music. And it reminded me there's at least, that it's not just this one person, but that there is love in the world right now, even if even if I was exclusively physically alone in my bed, that I'm not alone in the world, and none of us are alone. And as long as, so in this interview and in others subsequent, to remind everyone that may ever hear it, that there is love, that
Yeah.
I
And,
have that
and,
love
and,
and you have that love.
and for me, coming from a place of that, what you just described about how you felt after listening to that music or while listening to the music, that's something that's been almost non-existent in my life.
Mm.
Okay, so then went from non-existent to rare to more and more frequently.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like I'm just entering into that space where it does happen, where because I've lots of times felt that I'm not loved.
Yeah.
So to really feel, yes, there is love out there. That's been part of my very recent practice of like looking for the love. Like I have a coach that tells me that, I need to tell my mind that I'm looking for love, and it'll find it for me.
Yeah.
Like
I was laying under a tree today with Illy at the beach. We're so lucky to live where we can walk to this beach here. When you come visit someday, if we're still living here, we'll go to that beach. Even if we're not, we could take a trip. But just looking up at the leaves and the way the sunlight was playing through a mist of clouds, so it was sort of a soft sunlight. And even at this higher altitude, it's sort of like a low angle of sun that comes at this part of Sweden. It was beautiful to see the light in the leaves, and my enjoyment of it started to feel like this little balloon of loving, just witnessing this and knowing again that there are others in the world right now witnessing anything, a puppy, a flower, a son or daughter, a friend or mother, father, or themselves, or anything at all, reading a book, just experiencing this same joy and witness of being. And that too was like, just inflated this balloon of feeling of like, there's love. It was,
beautiful,
yeah, it was
beautiful.
cool. Good. It was really good.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good on you.
Yeah. It was a very natural high. I was just grinning like a fool.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
It was
Yes.
nice.
Like a fool. Trust.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the tarot card I pulled today. The
Nice.
Fool.
Let's go
0.
with that.
Oh,
You
yeah?
start your day in such
gonna
an
make a
excellent
fool of
way.
me, dude?
I'm
Again?
gonna expose the fool in all of us.
Oh, good. You know
Yeah.
what? That is right on.
I love the line. It finally, it's like the card flipped over and I understood the meaning, like as if it was written on the back of the card, where the lyric in the Beatles song "The Fool on the Hill,"
Yeah.
but the fool on the hill sees the sun going down, and the eyes in his head see the world spinning round. Because the sun isn't going down, the sun stays there. It's the world that spins around that makes it appear the sun is going down. He's not a fool after all. But the willingness to be the fool.
Thank you. I never really got that.
Yeah, it was a nice little moment for me. So if you will, the tarot, and I'm also interested, if you will, the runes and the I Ching. But however you want to go, let's start with that flow. I'm a poet and I never even realized.
Yeah, really. Okay, so the tarot card, we'll start there and we'll try to jog my memory from there forward. or backwards. Oh yeah, memories in the past, isn't it?
I want to talk about that too, man. Yeah, but we'll get there.
Letting go of the past,
or time in general, but onward
wow.
or in the
Okay.
moment.
All right.
Inward.
So we're starting at, tell me again.
The tarot from this morning.
Yeah. Okay. The Fool. Yeah. Just trust. That's what. And then I came to the place today of told myself, just be yourself and trust. That's all you need to do.
Yeah.
Everything's going to be just fine. And so that's where the Fool came in.
Wait, you thought that before you pulled the card?
No. After.
Okay.
After.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. The hexagram was the abysmal, and I have now 3 I Ching books. Okay, one I've used for years and years and years.
Carol
Anthony, right?
Carol Anthony, yeah.
Carol Anthony, yeah. That one used for years, and so I have that one. Then I have a newer one of hers with another partner. That's I sometimes use, but it's like coming from a place that there's some not relating to, so I don't use it that much. And then today are you familiar with Bobby Klein? Someone named Bobby Klein. He does the I Ching weekly. He sends out a weekly free, here's the I Ching for the week. And he was
I shook my head no for those that aren't watching the video. No. Sorry.
And he did kind of like a Kickstarter thing to gather money, and so if you gave money, you would get his book when he published it on his interpretation of the I Ching. Okay. So I just got that a couple of days ago.
The book, cool.
The book. The hexagram was the abysmal. Okay, which to me has always been shit. I mean, it's like being stuck in a place, and the more you struggle to get out of it, the worse it's going to get. Like that kind of a thing. So anyway, I read that. So that's going today also, that framework of the abysmal, the pit. That's the other part. What he talked about was being on the precipice of a pit. And that's a symbol that's like the Fool is on the precipice.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't know where he's going to land when he jumps off that cliff. I'm talking about what the tarot card picture looks like. So it's like he's going off the cliff, and he's just at peace. I had some hesitation to go ahead with this interview with you because I was feeling like I didn't have something to say that was going to sound authentic and transparent and wise.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, okay, that's where that's coming from.
Yeah.
And I went, and then I got to the point of just be yourself and trust, and that went away. That whole
poof
energy went away.
Yeah.
So, and then I pulled a rune for that. Okay, to get some, like, for me, it's like more intuitive insight or information about our interview. And I got the last one, the unknowable.
Oh, okay. That's so great, man.
Isn't it?
Yes.
Yep. So I thought I'd share that with
the
you.
abysmal and the unknowable.
Yep.
And then struggling with, I want to have something to say that's meaningful and wise and authentic.
Yeah.
And just saying, I'm going to be just me. Yeah. And
right.
Where it all comes from. Because, and even being less than, me, I mean, just being me, it is in our simplest way of being. So this is a bit beneath the ego, the pisos, the personal separate sense of identity, self. This is this state of being, which is the oneness. You can't say anything wrong. It's going to be, this finger's sight of the world, and it has, no less validity than this finger, or
Right.
yeah.
Right. Exactly. Yes. Yes.
Mm.
So let's get to one of the other things, the juicy things, the stuff that we can dig around a little bit. What kind of topic would that be?
Well, I think self-love, and I wanted to talk to you about that, because I know that's been like a real, what was the I Ching?
The abysmal.
Yeah, it's been a real abysmal challenge.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes.
for you. And
Yeah, and
we've
it's
talked
because
about that
of
a lot. And I just think like you're gonna have such, talk about authentic, like
okay.
you're just gonna have such juicy
All
stuff
right.
to
So for
dig
me,
in for that.
it's about. I'm sorry. I don't mean to. I can't wait to talk. I guess because I'm starting to talk
You're
over
good,
you.
man. You're good.
Apologize for that.
I love you.
Yeah, it's my belief in, as Scott Killaby would say, my belief in deficiency. And sometimes I say insufficiency, but that's what it is. It's a core belief in not enoughness and not worthiness, not value. So that's not loving myself. And loving myself was like something that I never even heard of, for a good portion of my life.
Yeah.
And I was certainly not doing it. In fact, I was judging and punishing myself. That's what I was doing.
Did your parents show you love, and in that way, from a secondhand, like to me, I ask this because when I think about it, to me, I wasn't really taught to love myself, but I was told I'm loved. And I feel like that was for me an easier springboard to realize, hey, I've been loved. I love others. Why can I not love myself the same way? And it was sort of a bit of, how I got into inside of that thing for me. Did you have parents that showed you love and gave you that message?
No,
Okay. Yeah.
no. It was more like, how can I get my needs met? How can I survive here?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And my need to survive was like, so it was a lot of protection. Okay. And no, so, and insecurity. It was like insecurity was born. So I stayed insecure. Okay. Until, enough was enough.
Yeah, and when did that happen? I think
Oh,
that's some
probably within the
exciting
last
chapters.
year.
Oh,
Probably within the
really?
last year. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, it's still happening. So yeah, more recent than that. Yeah. This year, a good portion of it has been really good for me. I mean, I've hit some really deep places of depression and keep coming back. And as this lovely woman who's my coach keeps telling me, notice that you keep coming back. So this stuff comes and goes. And it's like, okay, what comes and goes? The dream comes and goes. I can always remind myself that I'm dreaming, that I'm in a dream, that I think I am the dreamer. And no matter what else is happening, either that's happening or I'm the one and only one. So which one? And it's okay. If the dream is happening, it's happening until it won't happen anymore.
Yeah.
That's like, I tend to judge myself when I find myself dreaming and say, hey, wake up, motherfucker. No, that's not that harsh, but
but it can be sometimes, and
Yeah.
we can get in that trap, like in meditation, like silent mind. Oh, I've got the silent mind. Oh wait, no, I'm talking. Dang it. Or meditation. Oh, I'm gonna do the laundry later, and then oh yeah, that thing on TV, that was cool. Oh wait, you're talking again. Idiot. But it's not to say idiot. It's to smile and be like, oh, here I am again.
Yeah, and one way that is loving myself.
Yeah.
It's like, no matter how I appear, can I love myself? Because if I don't, then I'm hanging on to something I feel like I don't like or don't love. And that's just where my energy is going. And that's not helpful. So, yeah, to focus on, okay, I see it. Awareness, great. I'm looking for it. I see it. I'm aware of it. I acknowledge it. Now love it and bless it and let it go.
I had a like a nightmare last night. In a way, it was a dream where I was I woke up and felt uncomfortable about uh what I was just dreaming, but in the dream I was loving it. And when I woke up, I was like that's fucked up or whatever. Um, and as the day went on, as you know, I'm doing things, it's like morning time is chore time for me. I realized anywhere that I feel discomfort in something in life is a place that I want to examine deeply.
Mm.
I want to examine that because this is just a formula that I've put in place that doesn't have any basis in reality. If there is, again, if there is love, if there is in that moment, if there is love, contentment, enjoyment, if there's no harm being done, if this is just whatever it is that you're doing, giving, receiving, experiencing, saying, thinking, feeling, it it is okay. If we have a judgment about it, and also to someone else, if I judge somebody else, like this is my own shit, or if I'm being judged by someone else, that is not me. I might feel defensive about it and feel judged and then want to, but all that stuff are like weird constructs that we create to
Ain't that the truth?
yeah, it's silliness, it's nonsense, and it's a
Yeah.
poof, like it can
Let me,
evaporate like that again.
I'm just going to say something about the construct. It's like it is an energetic construct, and it's like a whole system of that will describe a whole system that does describe um, a condition that we identify with. But if we but the it contains everything that's needed. This structure does, this energetic structure that's needed to manifest itself, to manifest what its contents are, what its data is.
For example,
What was the one you were talking about?
a dream that I had had.
Oh, okay. Okay, no. For example, the mind construct I have about myself that makes me believe that I am a separate entity. Okay, that kind of mind construct, a mind construct that says I'm deficient,
Yeah.
a mind construct that says I'm separate.
Or that
Like,
says it is wrong to love yourself, which I
yes,
think is like
absolutely.
really
Anything, yeah,
bizarrely popular.
right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm going off on a tangent here,
I'm with
but
you,
I
but
just wanted to share this about it's an energetic construct,
yeah.
and it gets energy, and what happens when it gets energy, it manifests as an identity
Yeah.
that I believe in,
Yes.
and now I am a personal sense of self believing in who I think I am.
And when those constructs of energy are also formulated in recognized schools of thought, be they religious or psychological or academic or scientific, etc. And so we hear them echoed through media or through social media, through society or whatever. That echo chamber just makes it that much more difficult to see the illusion in them, to be able to disidentify with them, to see them
Yeah,
as
sure, it does. But the whole the energy that is provided to make this manifest is believing. It's the energy that's in believing.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
When a thought isn't believed, it doesn't happen. And that's just energetically what I see as the basis of these thought structures that we live our lives by. If they're not energized, they don't happen, which means that this sense of whatever deficiency or fear of this or fear of that doesn't happen. Okay. And that can I come to a place where I recognize that it's happening, something, there's some separation is happening, and I don't really want that in my life. What I want is to live my true nature, which I know is the one and only one. Okay. then I lost my train of thought. I was
Oh, that there's energy that accumulates and begins to appear as something that
yeah.
requires your belief. Your belief is the energy
Yes.
that.
So when I'm aware of that, thank you. Then I can just go through my own little process of not putting energy into it anymore, whatever that means. With essentially, though, it is, and the way I see it, it's the energy doesn't go there. Whether it's by, okay, I don't believe this anymore, and then the energy doesn't go there, or I focus on oneness that is here right now,
Mhm,
rather than this world dream of illusion of separation
mhm,
that I'm
mhm.
focusing in. Okay, so there's a choice. Okay, but it's like, for me, it's like, what do I do? Do I have a choice? Apparently I do.
Sure.
So I exercise as much as I can to get my energy out of there in whatever way I can, and so that it doesn't keep I keep don't keep telling myself I'm deficient, and I don't keep believing it.
Right. Don't get
You
stuck
know,
in some loop.
really, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Really telling myself means I'm believing. Yeah, I'm
Real.
believing what I'm telling myself, right?
Yeah. So if you're really well, what if it's like a positive affirmation? You don't quite believe it, but you're going to say it because you want to believe it. You're going to say it
Well,
as if you
yeah,
believe it, and then it becomes, gradually builds up.
right, yeah. Um, I guess if you believe something like that, but I'm just talking about just thoughts,
Hmm.
But yes, they lead to what you're talking about. But maybe I don't know as much about that, but I do know that just on a thought level, uh, that if it isn't believed, it doesn't happen.
I
And
want to
that
get.
actually believing is actually a necessary part of the human brain mind
Yeah.
organism.
Yeah.
It's like, it's
Right.
built in, it's built in. What
I,
we believe, we can be conditioned.
exactly. I was just going to say this. So I want to get to a place where I'm not needing to believe in anything anymore, but I still recognize the abundant strength of faith, like the
Mm.
willingness to accept something that I cannot see, that I may not understand completely, the willingness to accept existing in this squibbly, oddity of kaleidoscopic dimensions or whatever, to experience uh you know, a spirit or a psychic connection with another being, animal or human or even plant or an element, wind or fire or water, or these sorts of things. Like, I want to be willing to abandon any prejudice against that from happening, to allow it to happen
Yeah.
without having to believe in some structure that gives reason
Okay.
that it happens. Like, there's it's a tricky
I
thing.
It's beautiful. I want to say that's beautiful. And lately, and I mean just very, like, last couple months or something like that, I've done something that I I didn't use the word. I don't like the word. I don't believe in anything. I don't believe my thoughts. I'm
Uh-huh.
not going to believe anything. Either I'm experiencing
Yeah.
what's real. I don't need to believe in anything.
Yeah.
Okay, that's where I've been coming from.
Yeah.
But recently, it's like, yeah, I believe I deserve
Yeah. Yeah.
joy. I believe I deserve
Yes.
non-identified living here.
Yeah.
I believe I deserve peace.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I'm using it. I'm using it
Yes.
like I've never before, but it's okay.
Yes.
It's just serving a purpose right now.
And that's the
And it's
other.
having faith in myself, like you said.
Yeah, and that's exactly where I was going. Like, though I don't want to believe in something, I recognize that the state that I find myself in, that recognizes I have been conditioned for, most of my life to understand the world in a sort of more structured way, to understand myself as separate, as being ranked on a certain, scale of values, which is arbitrary. and to have my own values that way. Like all these things are products of conditioning, subtle or overt
Mhm.
over time, and they are belief systems. And the way to navigate out of that is to identify it, to see it. And just like I was saying, if I feel uncomfortable about something, that's a place I want to investigate, realize the belief system about that, and just let it fall away. And then also it's recognizing, as you said in the beginning, that belief is like such an integral part of the way the human machinery seems to operate. Like it is a bit of a guidance for our thoughts and the mechanism of, the stuff that makes us think and operate. It's so incredible that we're sitting here, we're a whole bunch of atoms, like sucked onto each other, you know, and we're here talking and expressing thoughts, and
Miraculous, yes.
it is.
Yep. And that there's only one.
Yeah. Yeah.
How miraculous is that? It's like,
Yeah.
oh, let me create what looks like many
Yeah.
all at the same time.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah. I
And
believe
then,
I
go ahead.
believe that if the more we can enter that space of understanding and witnessing being from the subatomic level to the gross level here, to our tiny little, dot of light in the universe, which is our planet, at all levels, the less personal life becomes and the more integrated we find ourselves, like just dissolved into this sea of beingness. And if we, I believe, if we understand and experience life that way, a lot of these false prejudices and, energetic structures, which, prop up a false system of judgments and constructions about the world and how it should be, and how this is wrong and this is right and I am right and you are wrong, and all that shit just dissolves into the bath of just beingness of the impersonal atomic, like it's like energy and matter simultaneously continuously creating and changing and flowing, and we are among that. We're not separate from it. And somehow out of that, I think, comes a more egalitarian morality, a more egalitarian ethics that would guide us to be less harmful and destructive as a society, as a species on the planet, and more friendly to one another and supportive. And
Sure. Yeah.
it's National Day in Sweden.
Which means?
I'm wearing a
Oh,
Stockholm shirt.
all right.
But it's like the 4th of July in the States.
I'm wearing
Oh, I like that. Is it lightning? Is there a wolf on it?
yeah, lightning. Yeah, it's just
All right,
a
cool.
band of lightning.
I
Yeah.
like it. And
I wanted to say something about that. What I'm noticing is that these places, these aspects, these traumatic spots from traumatic conditioning inside myself, they may not. There may not be a time here where they're not coming up anymore.
right. Yep.
Okay. So I feel like I'm coming to terms with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Yep.
What that means now is a different story. What does that mean to me? Okay. That
Mhm.
they keep coming up. What does that mean to me? If it means nothing to me, then they're nothing. They're nothing. They're a wind. They're nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. But as long as I keep wanting them not to be there or not to come up or something like that, now I'm at war with myself. Okay, so I'm not at peace with myself. So I'm not going to emanate peace into the world. Even that little place that I see as, I'm naming it as war.
I don't know which way to go. All right, I'll just say a little bit, and we can talk about this more later if we feel it. The the depths of sorrow and despair and darkness, just like the seasons. If you live in a place that has 4 seasons, like you do in Wisconsin, like I do here in Sweden, it's the darkness and the cold of Sweden, which makes it's the darkness and the cold of winter, which makes the lightness and the warmth of summer, like, that much more enjoyable or
Yeah.
appreciated or something.
I love, first of all, I love the way you narrate and describe.
Thanks,
It's
man.
like incredible. It's such a gift.
Thanks.
It is such a fucking gift. And I appreciate it.
Thanks.
I'm sure that many of your listeners appreciate it like that.
I hope so. Thanks.
There's another aspect. I just want to throw the wrench in here. There's another aspect. Yeah. And you know it. It's not like I'm saying anything new to you, but it's just like right now, I want to say it. No matter what happens or what is happening, if it's happening in a reality of separation, okay, then it's an illusion.
Yeah, good or bad.
Good or it doesn't matter what it is, or what it looks like, or what it feels like, or what it tastes like, or anything like that.
Yeah.
So what that means to me, what that means is all of creation. Because it's created into a duality reality. It's created into off and on. It's created into polar opposites. It's created into a world of separation. But separation's impossible.
It's an illusion of perspective. That yeah, right. Yeah, okay. Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, it's a miracle of creation that nothing is separate. And yet, voila.
Yeah. And I live and I die. And you live and you die.
Yeah.
And
right.
they live and they die. And you know, and these on-offs keep going on. Yet
and no matter what happens in what we call life and living and dying, if it's in separation, it's still an illusion. It's still a dream.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a dream here of like nothingness becoming something, a dream of source becoming itself, and dreaming separation, dreaming this. It's like, what else could it be? It's either that or separation is real.
It's like while we are waking, we're dreaming. And when we stop dreaming, we're still being. Nothing has changed but our illusory perception of what being is.
Right.
I love that you understand that. I know it's gobbledygook to many, and this is the tricky thing about us having a conversation is we tune into the same frequency and the same language of understanding. And this is it. This is the cornucopia that we are offering.
Yeah. And it's beautiful.
It is, man. I love it.
I hope others will love it.
Same. And that's also, I don't expect to, I expect, or not even expect, for anyone that hears it, that hasn't already dropped out of the conversation, that keep hearing it, and like, it's there, and at some point it may be helpful, or it may never be helpful. But the intention is just to like be sharing the truth. And as we're like jiving with it and dancing with these songs, like it is there. When I first listened to Eckhart, and I think we talked about this, I don't know if it was in a interview or if it was just the last conversation we had, but I didn't get it. I didn't get how you could be present and still plan for the future. Like, it was ironic. It was paradoxical, but I get it now. And the things that I heard then seemed so strange. And now I get it. And it's like that. We can talk about things that, are strange, and later they're not so strange. And that's fine. I'm cool with that. Right. I wanted to return to not far back ago, but in experiencing difficulty and you saying that maybe you will never be free of these difficult experiences in life that are me.
That's not what I said. I said
sure,
I would never be free of the thoughts as they come up.
Okay. Didn't it relate to the something in the past?
Oh yeah, I don't understand. No, it's all in the past. I mean,
Yeah.
all you mean the past conditioning that comes up as traumatic
Yes.
triggers? Like,
Yes. Yeah.
okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
like it doesn't matter if they come up. If I don't believe in them, if I don't connect with them, if I don't identify with them, if I don't give them
Yes.
energy,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter
Yeah.
because the I who isn't giving the energy is resting in that awareness. Okay, so
Yes.
when these things pop up, where are they popping up? They're popping up in awareness.
Right.
Where
And
else
how
could they pop up?
do we give them a lot of weight and value? Do we say, "Oh, that's horrible, and this is who I am. This is what I'm defined by." You know, if
That's
we
what I've
do,
been
that's
doing
what's real.
most of my
Yeah.
life.
And
Yeah.
if we don't, that's what's real.
Yes.
And either way, it's a part of our heartwood. It's inside of us. You cut open a tree and you can look at it and you can see, that little ring in the center, as it goes out, is that little sapling. If you split that log, that little sapling, it might still be there in full. All of the moments and days and years of our lives are, you know, in there, but it doesn't mean that we should identify with them. And I'm going to keep going. I It's been my experience that as I find myself in a greater place of peace, by contrast somehow or by relief, these things tend to stand out more. And there's some irony there. Perhaps as you continue
You
to
mean stand out more in your own mind experience? What do you mean?
yes, or my awareness of them, like as
In yourself or in
uh
others?
in myself, and also this seems to be the case for some others, and this is from a recent conversation I had with someone else. So for some others that had grown up two different countries, but both in very difficult, tumultuous childhoods with a lot of violence and difficulty, they're now here in Sweden, which is pretty peaceful environment, especially relative to that.
Yeah.
And I too am through the sickness, like everything suddenly stopped, and all of those stressors like just were no longer a part of my daily routine. And in my piece, and then also in their piece, these fragments of our earlier life experiences, which seem to be so intense, which seem to be part of the foundation upon which we built this sort of crooked structure that was, sort of had faults in it and stuff, began to become apparent, and we could start to give them attention. And it seemed to be in the contrast of being in a place of greater peace or in striving for that place of greater peace, that these chunks of stuff start to come up and we can see them more. And then it's our choice to either give them attention and believe in them again and reinforce them, or to acknowledge them and just say, yeah, you're there, and I'm not identifying with that. That was just an observation I wanted to share, and it was also stemming from being National Day in Sweden. That
Well, my experience is that they're a necessary part of the waking up,
ah
and so it's going through them that enhances the waking up. So they're there. Look, they're already there because they're in my quote past conditioning. So they're coming up to be freed.
mm,
They've been held inside. The energy
mm.
of the trauma has been held inside, and that energy is still life energy. So it just wants to be freed.
And
And
they're the
so a lot of what I do is pay attention to what inside me is like, what parts that need something.
yeah,
And if I don't get them, they're just going to continue acting out,
yeah.
in ways that I don't want to be.
And
Does that make sense? Yeah.
yeah, completely. Yes.
Okay.
And they are
Yeah.
your perfect teachers with your
Yes. Right.
perfect lessons
Exactly.
exactly
Exactly.
only for you.
Yeah.
And
Right. And
yeah,
the key is to meet them
yeah,
with this light and this love.
yeah,
That's the key.
yeah.
Because if I'm not in light and love, I can't really meet that part of me that's not in light and love.
Right. Yeah, you'll want to turn away. You'll want to say, "Oh, that was awful."
Right, right. I'll be
Yeah,
meeting it with more no love and no light. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
So that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. And it's like, so, like be yourself and trust. Be yourself and trust.
Yeah.
Just let this come up, whatever needs to come up for the awakening happening. Fine, let it happen. I'm willing. I'm willing, and that includes in this conversation too. I'm willing.
When the monster appears in your nightmare or in real life, in your thoughts, what are you here to teach me? Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah. The thing is to be able to go through the feelings be able to go through the discomfort, be comfortable with the discomfort. That's the trick.
Yeah.
Can I be comfortable with experiencing what I'm afraid to experience?
Yeah.
Like my fear of physical harm. I saw it the other day. What are my greatest fears? And the first thing I felt was like this sense of rupture. It's like this separation, rupture, maybe from a relationship or something like that. But it was definitely in the heart. And the biggest fear, and I went, no, my biggest fear is fear of physical harm coming to me. Okay, and I go, oh, that's good information. Because so we a little bit identified with our body.
Well, I want to keep my head on my shoulders.
Exactly. It's all built in as I'll go, right. We go right there. It's for the survival of the species. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
want to keep
is, and I'm not denying that. It is. Yeah. But the fear of, if I think about it, why am I thinking about it? What triggered that? What triggered this fear? And what's going to make me sit here looking out at the lake feeling this fear because a memory or something like that, and I'm gonna get in there and feel it, and now I'm feeling afraid or fuck. That's what happens.
Yeah. So when you're sitting by the lake and it's beautiful and you feel this feeling come up, you don't want to deny it, neither do you want to exaggerate it, but you want to allow it to be felt fully.
Yes.
And how does that go?
And acknowledged and met and said, I can say, I remember incidents with people and animals that caused me to fear physical harm. So I hear you. That's a fear, and right now that fear doesn't exist. I mean, the reason for that fear doesn't exist. There's no physical harm right now. And let me just how about wrapping my arms around you? Is that you feel safe now? Is that good? Oh, okay. What do you need? Just tell me. What do you need to feel safe? Because you're not feeling safe. And I felt that way all my life, not safe. It's awful.
Yeah, and it sticks with you, and it becomes a camouflage in the background. It just becomes your native environment.
Yeah. It's where you come from. Yeah, where you live from.
Yeah. And it takes time, man. So also when you had said you may never be free of these thoughts. However, I may be clumsily rephrasing it.
You keep coming back to
well, only because just what you said right now, hang on, is like to me, it's like layers of onion, just endless layers of onion that'll continue to, keep showing, oh, here's another one. Oh, let that go. Oh, here's another one. Oh, let that go. Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe there's a time when you you don't even have to tell yourself to let it go. It's like you just see it and you know that it's just everything. Like you don't have to do a thing.
Yeah.
You don't have to do a thing. Because you know that you are. You don't have to do a thing.
Yeah.
Unless doing a thing is like in harmony with flow, with flow being the energy of source flowing into 3D.
Right. It's not to become an inanimate object. It's
right.
just to be present. And there, I think self-love seems to occur spontaneously because it isn't the love of egoic self anymore. It's just the love of knowing that you are, just of the experience of being. And like there is a happiness and a joy in that experience, and recognizing that all these things that are false can float away, and like here you are being. This dog we had, Mando for 6+ months. Today is Sunday. On Friday, he was adopted by another family. And this is the 5th adoption. So,
Yeah.
it's a little early to say it's for sure, but it feels quite good. It was a good family. They had a dog like him before, a German Shepherd mix that would, be quick to get excited at certain situations and bark a lot and be in an agitated state. And they had 2 teenage boys who were capable of managing him, and they all seemed to be, loving towards him and excited to have him. And I was like relieved to because as a foster parent, it's not like just owning a dog where you can leave the dog at home or you can go out and meet other people with the dogs or other dogs. Like there were those things were excluded from the foster experience. I could not leave him at home. I couldn't socialize with him with other people or dogs. And it was a 24/7 endeavor. And I was interested in rehabilitating him. So there's continuous training. And we got very closely bonded during that time. And
Sure.
he would
Yeah.
follow me all over the place, and he would be looking to me for approval, support, acknowledgement, praise. And something I've learned in working with these dogs is not to condemn, what we may perceive as negative behavior, which is just him being a natural dog, but
Right.
rather, to not put energy towards that at all, but do put positive energy towards good behavior. And that works very effectively. So on Friday when he left, there was a mix of emotion, but there was also relief. Saturday morning, woke up and just felt like this openness, this freedom of movement, and for the first time, Illy and I could go to the beach. Like we couldn't take him to the beach, there's no way.
Okay. Yeah.
But then later that day, we were sitting on the couch, we were watching a program. It was a program about babies, and there are some very lovely aspects of that were pulling on my heartstrings. And it was this connection of love and just that complete love and adoration you have for your child. And then that transformed into, I felt very strongly Mando right now being somewhere in this new home and wondering where the hell I am and feeling sad. And I got really sad, and it like cleaved my heart. And and I knew these feelings I did not want to push down, nor did I want to get maudlin and wallow in them. But I did know that this needs to happen. These feelings of sorrow and it's a feeling which comes in crying. I was just crying and crying, which is a balance of love. It's only for the love that I have had with this other that I have the sadness.
Mm-hmm.
And I was saying to Illy, like, why am I crying? Like, what is this for? Like, what does it serve? But it was happening, and it was important to let that happen. To let
Yeah, absolutely
it come and
important
go.
for you to cry and everything. That was great. I mean, that's exactly what needed to happen.
And it's like I don't want to excuse the metaphor, but it's like diarrhea. Like, I gotta let this out.
Yeah,
I don't want to
but
still.
you said two things. You said that you first tuned into his sorrow, his grief, his loss, that you weren't there, and then you went to your loss that he isn't there. Is that correct or not?
It was a feeling, and that I cannot in any way verify, but it suddenly came through to other experiences I've had. For instance, that are verifiable when someone has passed and they've come to me in a dream and said, like, knock, knock, hey, I just want to say goodbye. Like it was that feeling. Like I
Right, right.
felt him right
Yeah,
then, very loud and
yeah.
clear. We
What?
were connected, and there was like sort of, where are you, he was feeling, and a bit
Yeah.
of abandonment or something, and he has abandonment issues. And then that translated as the ground for my own thoughts and feelings that are like,
Yes.
I love you, I miss you, and the sadness, the experience of that.
And it's all. I think that's just all we'll call it the human part of us. Just does that kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
You have an animal that you fall in love with, and then is missing, and so you grieve. And the animal, same way, same, grieving. So what can be done? So first you realize that you let yourself feel it without the judgment or without stopping yourself from feeling it. Like
that it's okay.
We're so conditioned to not let ourselves feel these things, and express the feeling. Like we have to get in there and judge it and control it and manage it. It's sad. That's all it is. It's conditioning, and it's sad.
And it is unnecessary.
Oh, and it's totally unnecessary. Absolutely, yes. Yeah. So we let ourselves do it, and then we know what we're doing. We know we're allowing. We let ourselves feel and express, and we know what we're doing. What we're doing is we're allowing ourselves to feel and express right now.
Right. When we give ourselves permission.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And there's no story.
Yeah.
There's no story about it. There's no judgment about it. There's no story about it. It's just what's happening.
Allowing it.
And we allow it, and we be in it.
Yeah.
Okay. Even though we know that the bottom line is that this is kind of a dream here. This is an illusion. At that moment, we don't know it. At that moment, we're feeling the feelings, and that's okay.
I don't mean to come back to the same kind of fecal metaphor, but in a way it's like, like it's something that has to pass. Let it come, let it go. It stinks.
I'm glad you explained that to me.
And then and then maybe you feel better. And I know from experience, if I push those feelings away, push them down, they're going to come back, and it's going to last longer.
Sure.
And it's going to like dement the way that I see and experience and understand. And then I kept saying to him, if not knowing if we're connected or not, but just feeling that somehow we're still a little bit in frequency, just saying, it's okay, buddy. Like, I love you.
Oh, perfecto mundo. Oh, that's great. That's great. That's all he needed.
Yeah.
And the same thing for yourself, right? Sure. The compassion for feeling the grief or guilt or whatever you're feeling.
Coming way back in the beginning of this, talking about love and knowing that when I was listening to that binaural sleep music and feeling like there's someone out there that loves, that wants you to feel love. I am in this world, even though we're not together anymore. I'll always love you, buddy. Like, you are loved in this world, and now you're being loved by more people. And I know that you love me too. And like, it's a rich, wonderful thing. Yeah.
It is indeed.
I always hope I'll see him again. I mean, that with all these dogs I've had, like, we've had some amazing dogs, and man, it would be so cool to just randomly run into them sometime.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Out their name and like, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Huh. That would be a treat and a hoot.
Yeah. But even if it doesn't happen, it's a lovely thing that potential exists in this world.
Sure.
That loving connection is there.
Yeah. So you want to just do some eye gazing now?
I love it, man. I'm good with it. I like the pauses, and it's something I've learned in Sweden, and I've listened to, I like, my music is now podcasts. It's, sort of like, if I need the auditory stimulation, it's usually someone sharing something more so than music that used to hold that place. And someone had made the observation that Americans are uncomfortable with silence, and they talked about how on an airplane, Americans will like have a conversation with their seat partner and share all their, secrets, their deepest, darkest secrets, and then get off the plane and be like, have a nice trip, and that's fine. That's it. But if you have that experience with someone that comes from another culture that isn't used to, sharing like that,
right.
then they think like they've made a really close friendship, And if you just say, see you later, then they're like, what the hell was that? You know?
I was just using you. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, right. I thought we were best friends. And so coming to Sweden, we have a couple times a day at work. Ideally or traditionally, you have fika where you get together at 10 in the morning and 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and you have coffee. It's like 15 minutes. And it's agreed upon nationwide. So like if you're in a consulting business, you know, this time is spread at cost, you know, whatever the costs or, you know, are paid for through your business. And you just talking. And in this talking, you know, there'd be the ebb and flow of conversation, and then it would come to a natural lull. And I felt so uncomfortable there when I first got here. Like I wanted to jump in and like say something like, quick, somebody say something, you know.
I can imagine that being very difficult for you.
It took a while, man. But now I love those moments of delicious silence.
All
I
right.
relish them. So yeah. It's nice because it somehow is like a natural punctuation to something that's just happened, and then it has a rest, and then the next thing comes up, and
and it like gives space too, doesn't it?
yeah,
It like a space of allowing.
yeah. And maybe in the same way that these, you know, part of being human, or you know, the experience of some animals, to have that the mystery of why we feel the grief or sadness, you know, if we part in a relationship or what have you, that it's just a human experience. You know, we just talked about this, you know, the seriousness of this distance of a relationship, and then there's this silence. I was listening to a podcast as I was just expressing how often I do earlier today, and they started it out by saying this is dedicated to a friend of ours who was such a great guy. He's passed now, you know, and we'll miss him. And then, you know, they said a bunch of things, and then they're like, you know, we'll miss you, buddy. And then there was like silence, and it wasn't planned or anything. It's like certain things, it just will naturally happen around them, like just as mysteriously as we may feel those feelings of grief. And it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Do you know the two guys that do the Wonderful Chaos show?
No.
Podcast?
No, it's called A Wonderful Chaos?
A Wonderful Chaos, yeah.
Right.
Andy and shit, I'm blocking on his name.
I'm adding it right now. I'm not being rude. I just don't.
No, that's all right. So the thing is that that happens frequently on their show. So they're like willing to do that. Now they're in Amsterdam, so maybe that has something to do with it.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, yeah.
But I hear what you're saying about the Americans and just taking up the space with chattering. Maybe it's just Westerners or something.
But it's not a bad thing. It's a wonderful thing too. Like I miss that. I loved when I was in the States last. I went into Walgreens with my sister. There's a guy behind us in line, and we all start talking like we've known each other our whole lives.
Yeah. I do that with men at bars.
Yeah. That's great.
I would love to do it with women too, but it just ain't happening. Now, wait, is Tori going to listen to this?
Yes.
Cut that part out. You can do video editing, can't you?
Oh, geez. With the video, I haven't tried that yet, man. This is the first one.
It's fucking hilarious. Yeah, so it's mostly men that I talk to.
Was that a conversation? Was that a podcast interview when you were talking about the toning you had done in the restroom?
No, that wasn't. And we don't want to. Oh, no. It's all right. No, it wasn't on a podcast.
All right.
I think it was just on a call.
Yeah.
I was with a friend just on Thursday telling him that story because we were at the same bar. Okay.
They let you back in?
Oh, they did, yeah.
And the same
bartender was, yeah. And I said, hey, do you remember that noise I made last? He said, yeah.
Can you briefly? Do you want me to summarize it?
You really want to hear that?
Well, only because we've just given context to a mysterious and somewhat amusing or entertaining story that
Yeah,
no
but it's
one knows
probably
what the
okay.
hell we're talking
It's
about.
probably yeah, and I don't mean to say that it's
But
as
why don't I give
unique
the
or different.
briefest explanation of it?
Can you?
Sure. And then you can jump in and be like, no, 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 no.
Okay, fine.
You're at a bar with
Go
Jory.
for it.
You're at a bar with Jory. You went
Yeah.
into the restroom, peeing in the urinal, I hope. And,
Mm, mm.
you know, intonation is something that you have experience with, you know, sort of intoning. And I've been taught that too, because it stimulates the vagus nerve, which goes all throughout your body. So you take these tones and it gives a vibration. It has healing things. Anyways, I'm already going off track here. So you were in the bathroom, you're going, "Ooh,"
Yeah,
and some
yeah,
other dude is there and he's like, you know, maybe looking at you. I don't know. But then you go out, you go to the bar, and then you decide, I'm going to do this again. You're like,
yeah,
"Ooh," be nice and loud. And people are
yeah,
looking
yeah.
at you like, what's this freaky old man doing?
Right, right, right.
Uncomfortable?
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Was that,
Absolute,
all right.
absolutely. Feelings of rejection and all this stuff. Yeah, and then I wondered why the fuck I did that. And I just couldn't come to. The only thing I could come to is like, because I wanted to. I
Yeah.
just I felt like doing it, but I wasn't taking other people impact on other people into consideration, and I didn't like that to the point where I won't do it again. It's like I
Yes.
learned, and I won't do that again.
Yes. Yes. But you hadn't approached it with that kind of, I'm going to shake these people's cages, or?
Yeah, I think that was part of the
Oh, yeah?
original.
Okay.
Yeah. I think we talked about that before. You said the same,
That's right.
similar thing. Yeah,
Because I said I
yeah,
liked it.
definitely. It was
I
an ego.
like that
It was
idea,
well, yeah. It was
but
kind
it's
of
the
like
intention that has a lot to do with why you do it.
right,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
yeah.
I will sit cross-legged in a meditating posture because I will always want to be able to quickly go into what has become like a very comfortable position for me to meditate in, and, you know, zero in on that just total dropping all the shit and dropping into the moment. But also because I have physical limitations with a broken tailbone, which is
Mm,
like, you know, moving freely and doesn't help me to swim better or anything. It's just painful if I try to sit regularly.
mm.
And when I do this in public, as I will on the beach, man, it looks like I'm meditating, and it, you know, or sitting outside the sauna. I would sit there, you know, in a half lotus on the bench outside the sauna, and it looks like I'm meditating. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. And at first I was self-conscious about this, and now I'm not at all. And I also think, which is what was my reflection to you, like, I think perhaps it's good to, you know, say, what's that weirdo doing? Like hugging a tree also. I'd
Yeah,
love to see more people hugging trees in the forest, and for people to be at first. There's someone said, all truth passes through three stages. First, it is rejected. Second, it is violently opposed. And third, it is accepted as being self-evident. And it's some flow like that. So,
yeah.
you know, I supported you doing it that once. I also support you in recognizing, if it makes other people uncomfortable, maybe there's another way.
Yeah, that's
But
another
if I
side
had
to it.
seen
Yeah.
you toning in a bar, I would have been like, "What's up with that guy?"
Well, of course. Yeah.
Do you still do that?
I haven't done it since then. Not on purpose. Like I just don't usually do it.
I'm into it. I don't do it that often, but I do it sometimes, and I would do it more often because it's part of, there's a certain meditation I want to do. Again, it's part of this binaural thing, and it requires you to tone while you are hearing these two different uh, frequencies, one in
Wow.
each ear. So your brain is trying to reconcile those, and then you also take a tone, and it's about sort of like some beta wave. I'll send you a link to this.
And it like brings you into a harmony, like.
Yeah, it has. It's. Do you remember this movie, Men Who Stare at Goats? It's kind of like about CIA research and remote viewing.
Okay.
And this comes out of that. There's a whole school of thought about like out of body experience and sort of entering these transcendental states where you can sort of do like, I've heard it called astral plane projection. I don't think they call it there in the CIA talk, but basically enabling discovery of information outside of where you are physically.
Remotely, yeah.
Yeah. And to enable that, it was like this kind of like practice, just like you'd work out at the gym to get better at, doing activity A, B, or C. It was the corresponding exercise for your mind, and it has to do with these two different frequencies. Your brain automatically wants to sort of reconcile them, and in that it goes into a certain state, and there's a lot about it, and I've just dipped my toe in the water, but as I was saying, I would be toning more, but I don't want to disturb Illy in bed or something, or I have to find the right time to do it.
That's very interesting.
I'll send you a link. I've got a whole, got the whole kit. So I'll link that to you.
Can we take a break?
Yeah. Should we go pee?
Yes.
Yeah. Cool.
Great. Thank you.
All right.
I'll be back as soon as I can.
Right on. Take your time.
All right.
Everything comes out okay.
I will. Thanks. So getting laundry is a workout for you?
Well, it's 4 buildings down. So
outside? You got to go outside?
Yeah, I had to go outside, run about 2 city blocks, and go into the thing and jam out all the laundry into these big IKEA bags and run my ass back. So, but it was perfect time to go pee, because Illy's like, oh, got the laundry. We had it until 7, but things in the dryer you have until like the next half hour. So it was until 7:30. So we had like 10 minutes. I'm like, let's go do it now. So I flew into action. Illy's taking her good, sensible time. Good. Yeah. I mean,
so you didn't drag her out of bed to go get the laundry? Is that
no, she's doing some schoolwork. I was on the first load, getting everything in, and the second putting it in the dryer. And then she was on the third just to restart the dryer. And now she's getting the last of it. She's, I'm grateful. I'm very grateful. I've talked about this in episodes 1 and 2 of season 2. But gratitude is like such an important component, like nutrient of my daily existence for small things. And in my own discovery of self-acceptance and just acceptance of what is, not even just self-acceptance, but just being, there's a recognition of all the things to be grateful for, and a total reorganization of the hierarchy that I had previously established through those illusory constructs that we were discussing earlier of what's important, what I'm supposed to do, how I should be spending my time and prioritizing. It's way flatter now, or it's way simpler, and it's really much more about Illy, about my daughter Saga, about our baby to be, which at this point in the podcast, I've already talked about it. To be, or B, that wouldn't be bad. We haven't settled on a name. We actually find out the gender in 2 days.
Okay.
So we'll see. Or 3 days. It's Sunday, 3. But
you're pretty excited about that?
Ralph, you know my whole story, man. Yeah, I think it's exciting for any parent, and though I'm not a new parent, I feel that I couldn't be more amped, because I've got like all the juice of the gratitude of being, and like this is like, how do you even say it?
You'll pass that on to her. It's beautiful.
Yeah, that's what I hope. And I think I see in Saga a lot of the awareness that I sure as heck didn't have when I was 20 years old. And I'm I'm really excited to see that. So I sure hope to. Yeah. Excuse my heavy breathing. I run like a fool. I haven't run in so long. I was wearing sandals and they're like slapping on the ground. I'm carrying these two big laundry bags. Yeah, I felt like some kind of albatross trying to take flight. Yeah. So yeah, I certainly am excited about that. And everything goes smooth, Ellie? Yeah. And
Hi, Ellie.
Ralph says hi. Hi. So yeah, it's a lot to be grateful for.
Hi, to be.
Yeah, to be. It goes on the list. Gender neutral name.
Yeah. Well, it could be Toby.
Toby, yeah. So there's a lot of names that have either they're people I know or they're characters, like Kevin, Toby, Michael, Dwight, Jim, Pam. None of these will be names of our child because they're all featured in The Office, the US version, which is a show that I've watched a number of times, Illy and I together, and they all already have like character attributes that I would never feel neutral about, and calling my son or daughter that. Certainly we've talked about if we do get a dog, naming them Michael Scott or something after the main boss in that show. But I know I can see you haven't seen it.
I've seen it, but
have
not,
you? Okay,
not enough to recognize things.
Sure. I
relate
find continuous
right away.
mirth in there. There's so many little funny things. Yeah. So, but to get back to self-love, and let's look at landing the plane, and either it can happen quickly or it's going to happen, but that's where we're going after the pee break. I think there's a natural pause, and I realized maybe I got off tangent too much, and I want to bring it back to this self-love and this direction. So let's dip back into that pool and swim wherever we want.
There's a track I want to somehow send you or turn you on to. It's I think it's called Thank You or Thank You, Lord. I'm not sure. But you're talking about gratitude. And one of the lines is, "Thank you, Lord, for everything you do."
Nice.
Thank you, Lord, for all you're doing now. And it's like, I stop and sing that to show my appreciation for what I was the insight I just got, or the accident I didn't have, whatever. Sure.
This song by Bob Marley and the Wailers, Put It On. Lord, I thank you. Lord, I thank you.
Yeah.
Just,
right.
I just love that, man.
Right.
Hey, would you sing a song with me?
Oh, you really want me to do that?
I was thinking about doing this.
I'm not in pitch. I don't have good pitch or tone.
I think we should harmonize perfectly then. I was thinking of doing this on a solo podcast, and I'd rather do it with someone else. Otherwise, I look like Andy Bernard, who actually is my doppelganger from that show, The Office, who would make multi-track recordings of his own voice in harmony. So to avoid that, the song is Home on the Range. Oh, give me a home where the
buffaloes roam and the sky
and
is not cloudy. Oh, and the deer and the antelope play. I'm glad we're going over the lyrics before.
Where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day. So, if you sing that, I'm going to sing a different song, something else, at the same time.
Let me get the lyrics right. Okay. Yeah. Home on the range with the deer and antelope.
Well, that part I'll join with you, but it's the first part. Oh, give me a home.
Oh, give me a home where the buffalo roam, and the skies are not.
Nope.
And the deer and the antelope play.
Yep.
Oh, give me a home where the buffalo roam, and the deer and the antelope play.
Where seldom
where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day.
Yeah.
It's been a long time coming. It's a long. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
And 3. What's our start? Oh, give me. Is that the 2?
Oh yeah,
Is that
that's
the?
it.
All right.
Right.
1, 2, 3.
Oh,
I
give
come
me
from
a home
Montana.
where-
I wear. We can do it. Or you can start again. We're gonna plow
I wasn't
through
ready for it.
like a steam engine through a
All
snowstorm.
right, let's try it again. 1, 2,
2,
3.
3.
Oh,
I
give
come
me a
from
home
Montana.
where the
I wear
buffalo-
a bandana.
I love it. Oh shit.
Third time's a charm.
Okay, now
All
what
right,
do you
this
want
is the real one. Last try.
Let me sing it once to myself
All
so
right,
I know
yep.
what I'm doing.
All right. Ralph is currently singing to himself.
Got it. Okay.
All right.
All right. Oh, give
Come
me
from
a
Montana.
home where the
I wear a
buffalo-
bandana. My
It's like
spurs
I
are
can't-
silver.
It's like I can't stay on it.
Yeah, it's really crazy, isn't it? You changed key
Oh,
too, but that's
give
okay.
me a-
Oh,
Oh
that's cool.
yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Wherever you're at.
Oh, give me a
Montana.
home.
Love and mirth.
All right, children, ready? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh,
I
give me a
come from Montana.
home where the
I wear a
buffalo
bandana.
roam, where
My
the deer and
stirrups
the
are silver.
antelope
My
play,
pony is gray.
where
I
seldom
go
is
out
heard
riding
a
through
discouraging
thunder and
word,
lightning.
and the skies are
With my
not
boots in the
cloudy
stirrups, I
all
gallop away. All right,
day.
we'll take this on the road, and after a couple months, we'll have it down pat.
You think?
I lost it there too.
Good,
But,
good. I'm
well,
not the only one that's
more.
lost it.
Let's do it one last time because that you did well.
Nah.
I lost it. One more time.
Okay.
College try. But wait, let's go.
Yes.
Ooh.
Oh, what? Oh, I mean that was. Oh, give me a
Montana.
home with a
I wear a
buffalo roam,
bandana.
and the skies
are silver. All right, fuck it. Anyways, you get the idea.
Yeah, I only get to do it once perfect.
Yep.
I only get to do it perfect once.
Yeah. That must have been perfect in the.
So you want to go back to self-love?
Yeah.
What do you want to go back to?
When we feel alone, have self-criticism, self-doubt, when we feel that the universe is an empty place, when we feel despair, when we feel that no one loves us, how do we get from there to a place of feeling secure again, feeling calm, feeling love? And in that loneliness, allowing that love to, basically emerge from within. Or
and I think you said it all before about whatever comes up is what do you have to teach me? Because it's there, the loneliness. Why am I feeling lonely? I'm missing someone, or I don't like being with myself. Looking into it, like maybe doing some inquiry about it, but definitely feeling it and recognizing, acknowledging that. And maybe doing some inquiry about, what's going on here. I'm feeling so lonely. I'm feeling sorry for myself. Why? Because I'm alone. Okay.
And how quickly can one expect to get to the state of satisfaction and love from the beginning of inquiry?
It's a silly question, yes.
Because it can take, it's years and years and years.
It's whatever it takes.
Yeah.
It's whatever it takes. The important part is doing it.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how long it takes.
It's those individual steps in the 1,000-mile journey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or the 2-step journey. Okay,
right.
who you are.
Or the no-step journey.
Right.
I like this.
A journey of no steps, huh?
Yeah. Moving. He moves. What is it? This from the Upanishads. Standing still, he overcomes all beings moving. something like that about Atman or Brahman.
Sounds a bit aggressive.
He's already there. He's here and he's there. And there's nowhere he is not.
Yeah. And, contacting, I said this in one of my videos, that going to a place of stillness and silence inside, finding your own path to that place where all this nonsense is not happening, where all these awful feelings are not happening. And then from that place, bring it on. And from that place, not only bring on the whatever is being triggered emotionally, but bring on the light and the love to that. From that place of stillness and silence, where you are at home with yourself, where everything is naturally you, yeah, instead of all this other stuff you.
My most challenging moments of despair typically were during times when I was overwhelmed by tasks, by an identification with the job that I had. And I would wake up in the middle of the night and I would have unresolvable despair for hours, which was entirely unnecessary. And now I deal with it differently.
How do you deal with it now?
Oh, now if I wake up in the middle of the night, I am like, oh, this is a nice quiet time that I can appreciate being here in a bed, being still. I can move, I can change my position to, find more comfort. I can take the time and like be aware of my breath and the subtle light coming through the curtains. Or and maybe I will fall back to sleep, or maybe I will continue to lie here and enjoy lying here. Or if not, if I feel some real ants in my pants, I can get up out of bed and come out and have a glass of water. Or I've taken a shower at odd times in the night. Or if I really feel like I ought to check out Facebook, check out YouTube, or I can do that. But it's not to get hung up with and identified on a problem that seems like I must solve it. It's unsolvable. What am I going to do? I learned the lesson the hard way, I guess, by realizing you're not going to solve it in the middle of the night. And if you can't sleep, don't get stressed about it. Just don't sleep then and do something else in that moment for what it does have to offer you, peacefulness, comfort, or get up and do something.
So you're consciously making a choice and redirecting your energy.
Yeah, and not fighting it, not
Yeah.
fighting it, but going with it. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
which means sometimes my day begins at 3:30 in the morning, and that's okay. And maybe I'll have a nap during the day, but I usually don't. I think it's a good idea, but I usually don't do it. But it's okay.
Yeah, that's a hard one for me to get to extract myself from the thinking when I wake up during the night.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to go there, because that's been the toughest spot for me.
Yeah.
Have you had success? Or does it remain, this is a challenging moment?
I've had intermittent success. I don't think I've landed on an alternative like you have to focus my attention on, like this is fine, but that's good. I'm going to use that. Yeah. So usually I'm just pissed off that I'm awake and thinking.
Yeah. God damn it. I'm not sleeping. I was sleeping. Yeah.
Yeah.
It used to be a real trick too, because it happened all the time. And like, if I happen to like wake up and I like opened one eye, I'd be like, oh, quick, close the eye. Like, don't start to think yet. Don't start to think. Go back into the dream.
Yeah.
1 out of 10 times, whatever. 1 out of 5. Sometimes I'd be able to do it. I'd be able to just slip the noose and get back into sleep. But most of the time, it just got me into an avalanche of, don't wake up, don't wake up. Oh, now you're awake. Oh, fuck,
I have tried this other thing recently, although I've kind of stopped doing it, called close the door. And I even put up little signs, close the door around the house. And what it was like, you imagine sitting in your house that has an outside door that's open to the breeze, and all of a sudden the neighbors get like really, really loud, and it's disturbing your conversation with Illy. Okay, so what do? You get them to close the door. Okay, so the conversation's still going on, right? But you're not hearing it. Now you can pay attention to what you want to pay attention to, which is a conversation with Illy. So I find myself thinking like this, and I say, close the door, meaning like close the door to paying attention to those thoughts. Doesn't matter if there's still thinking going on. Okay. If I'm not paying attention to them, it doesn't matter. I'm not hearing them. I'm not hearing the noise. So then I can pay my attention to what? Stillness, silence, oneness, whatever, something like that. So that actually worked for me during the night. It did. So I don't know why I'm not doing it now, but
I think that would have been useful for me too. And I think the hardest thing would have been, and it's would have just merely taken practice, a realization that it's not helping me to be ruminating in the middle of the night when sleeping is better, or at least restful state of being.
Or
if I'm
anytime,
not sleeping. Or anytime. Yeah. No ruminating. So it just occurred to me that it's quite a bit like what we were talking about when a difficult feeling comes up, to allow it, to sit with it, to be with it. So if you wake up in the middle of the night, accept that situation, allow it, sit with it, be with it. Don't struggle against it, because that's just like, blowing the bellows on the fire and just like,
right.
up all the more. Just allow it to be, and maybe you fall back asleep and maybe you don't. But if you don't, have a pleasant, experience of being awake at least. Yeah.
For sure.
All right. That I asked that because that's one of the most challenging things. And I think often enough time you might listen to this podcast is when you can't sleep. At least that's some of the feedback I've gotten. And it seems that the way I talk can sometimes put people to sleep. The content of this podcast puts people to sleep.
Remember the word, one of the words you and I coined up?
Which?
One of the Indian words. I think it was kind of like, was it? I forget which.
It must suck to be you.
No, but it was with that group.
Yeah, it was a play on Metakwiesun.
Oh.
Or what are you thinking?
You do go on and on.
Oh, you do go on and on. Yeah. Yeah. And the honest, I can say at this point, the first two episodes of season 2 are short. They're like 45 minutes. But because Illy's asleep in the other room, I'm holding the microphone right up to my mouth and I'm talking really quietly into it.
I love the sound of you do go on and on. Like if you just listen to it, without making a mean of it right away, just listen to the sound of it. You do go on and on. It's like, that's cool.
It's quite pleasant. Yeah, I don't mind it. Yeah. That's it. That goes on the list too. I'm putting that on the list. So if you're listening to this in the middle of the night and you can't sleep, I hope that what we've just said is helpful.
Yeah, and I hope that what we're saying is helpful to others that hear it from the aspect of giving hope.
Yeah.
Because we've both been in desperate, depressed places, and but looking like right now, just look right now. So even if it comes and it goes, that's fine. Things always come and go in this duality reality. They always come and go. But the fact is, it's not there now. That depression, that despair is not there now. What is there now? What there now is the love and the joy and the gratitude. And it's like, know that that's possible always. That's always possible.
Yeah,
it's always there. Just be willing. Whatever path you take, just be willing and take the path. only for those who want to, those who want to like wake up to who and what they really are. Yeah, only. And it's like everybody's got their own path. It's great. It's great. It has to be that way anyway.
And this was what a light that came on to me in our conversation, that though it seems obvious now in retrospect, those thoughts that you have that come up that are, issues from your past, that are challenges that you have to sit with and then sort of then like investigate and perhaps interrogate a bit, or at least observe them carefully and try to understand them better and learn from them. What do you have to teach me? That those teachers are the best teachers, specific absolutely for you, because they are of you, and they are the things that are the sort of the solution to the equation, the question of, what is bothering you. And as you begin to, allow those and understand them and allow them to be resolved, no longer give them belief or energy, accept them and let them be. Those things are such, like, they're just custom made teachers with lessons for you, not just something to be afraid of, but actually something to give you the key to unlocking that fear and letting it go. That was from this conversation. It's a really nice new way of understanding that.
Beautiful.
Ralph, thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thank you, brother. Sorry, my voice is giving out.
You sound gravelly and tough.
Yeah, I had John Wayne-ish, huh?
Tougher.
Pilgrim.
Yeah. I'm thinking
Cagney.
Yeah, Cagney.
You dirty rat.
Wow, you got the whole face thing going on for that. That was good.
The upper lip came
Yeah.
You dirty rat.
Dirty rat. Yeah.
It was a pleasure. Thank you. Oh, I wanted to ask you what. Oh, this is Zoom. Okay, so you're doing this over Zoom, and you're putting it on Spotify or somewhere other places too.
I will put it on YouTube, and I can put it on Spotify as a video. I have to figure out how to do that. This is my first adventure in the video aspect of it.
That's right.
It's figure outable.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Who said it's figure outable, Illy? Marie Forleo coined that term, and I really like it a lot. It's
figure outable. Yeah, I like it too. Yeah.
I'll figure it out, and then
let me know, because I might want to put some of my videos on YouTube. Totally.
And I want to do a much better job at pointing to all the other people that are I'm joining many others that have been saying the same sort of thing. Yeah. More and more people are saying it, sharing it. That's how it gets out there. Yeah. So
right.
I want to do a better job at that. Do you have any places that you want to give a special push for right now, to say, here's a nice place to check out some more really good content, conversation, pointers, helpful perspectives?
Yeah, if you get a chance to check out Ilse Comte Adair. That's Ilse, I-L-S-A. Her middle name is Comte, C-O-M-T-E, Adair, A-D-A-I-R. She does what she calls soulful entrepreneurial coaching. Okay, so her clients that she looks for and has are entrepreneurs in a service kind of capacity, where they're offering a service. It could be something physical, holistic, massage, whatever, to like the one that I'm also partaking is the biofield tuning. Okay, so it's people who are just offering these services to other people to spread the light in the world. It's that's who she has. So she's excellent. She's a coach, and she is excellent.
So we'll have a link in the description to her.
Okay. Is that you're going to do that, or I'm going to do that?
On my honor. But if you can send it to me, it'll make it my job
absolutely
that much easier. Cool. Good.
Yes, indeed. Good. Okay.
And I will. I'll also include a pointer to one of those binaural tracks on Spotify. The first one is there, and then you got to kind of dig deep in the internet and find
Yeah.
the library of that. But I'll certainly share it with you, Ralph. I can't share that with everyone, but I'll share that with you, and I'll put the link to it, at least for step one, for everyone in the description. Anyone else? You mentioned someone else, Byron something or Bryce or
Sharon Buck.
no, it was a guy's name who had said something you mentioned earlier. But anyways, I can listen back and
Oh.
I'll hit you up with a question for it.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
we'll
I
include that.
can't think of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there are a lot of like what we're the thing is what we're saying now, it's not even it's good to hear other contemporary voices pointing, more fingers pointing to this moon. More fingers helping to say, hey, if you're feeling like this, maybe it's this way. Maybe, this is going to be helpful for you, to feel more open, to feel less stuck, and to feel more of the love that is, man, right now, abundant, wanting you to feel love. I want you to feel love. You, Ralph, and you, whoever is listening, I want you to feel love. I want you to feel and discover that love right now, to feel that. And there's many people that feel that. But this also has been going on for centuries and eons. And in this world of incredible inundation of distractive messaging and marketing and information technology, maybe we're being inundated with so many other messages that we feel more than ever that we need to tune into this frequency that used to be more familiar, that maybe used to be passed down more often through generations. And now I'm really missing an important nutrient in my well-being. And yeah, you can look to some of the older traditions. I mentioned Hinduism. I think the words in the Upanishads are fascinating and point as well to the moon. And the whole thing of the finger pointing the moon comes from Buddhism, and it's in the heart of Christianity and Islam and Judaism, and it's nothing new. But anyways, it's within us right now. It's where we all are. It's not about a story. It's not about
it's a blessing to share it, and it's a blessing to share it with you.
Yeah. To me or to the
with you is a blessing. It's a blessing for anyone who will listen to this, and it's a blessing right now for me to be sharing it with you.
Oh yeah, right on. And same.
Because we're providing something, we're of service, but we're also enjoying
it
in each other. Right?
Yeah. And I love that. And what do they call that in church? It's not communion. It's but you are communing with, but it's or camaraderie, but it's not that either. Fellowship. Yeah.
Fellowship.
It's that connection. It's like, let's connect and recognize and reflect.
Yeah. And that's very, very, I honor that. I value that a lot.
Yeah. Same. All right, man. I
okay.
love you so much.
I love you too, Ken.
We'll be talking.
Enjoy.
Thanks.
Bye.
You too. Bye.
Okay. Hi. This is the first time I've done this, so it's probably going to be pretty shaky and scratchy. But here's my little place of paradise for the moment. This is where I'm living. It's actually an RV campground, and it fills up with people in the summertime. And right now it's like superbly quiet. Okay, so this is me, and I'm talking to you, and I feel a desire to speak my truth and share that. And I'm hoping that to give hope. I'm hoping to give hope. And I'm coming from a place of having experienced a lot of hopelessness myself. And in the world today, I don't know how it was, 3,000 years ago or 200 years ago, but today it's like kind of rough, kind of rough. Who the fuck am I? And what is going on in the world? It's rough. So what I want to say is that how you view yourself determines how you view the world. And if you view yourself as separate from the source of existence, then you're going to feel fear, probably deficiency, loneliness, or maybe I'm projecting because I do feel those feelings. And what I do is remember that separation is impossible. This is all one. There is no separation. So how is it that I live a life of separation? How is it that I live in a world of separation? Well, how can you have separation when separation is impossible? How? Illusion, dream, trance, magic, call it whatever you want. It's happening. It's so fucking real appearing. Bottom line, there is no separation. Here I am, a human being in this body. I'm identified with a body. I'm identified with my memories, past, thoughts, and feelings. It's like I'm fucked, right? So how can I navigate through this? By remembering that separation is impossible. So when I do feel all these feelings of separation, I know, what do I know? I know that it's a dream, an illusion, use whatever word is good for you. Okay? Even though I'm experiencing it as real, the separation that is, and all the world being in separation and turmoil and all the horror and all the man's inhumanity to man. Find the sweet spot of absolute stillness, absolute silence, absolute oneness within yourself, and it's there. I call it the eye of God. And the eye of God is a portal. It's a portal in your heart, not in your emotional heart, but in, some people call it spiritual heart. I call it the heart of light. It's in your heart. There is a portal that is an always existing source energy portal. It's how source energy comes into 3D and forms you. So you, whatever you take yourself to be, meaning the mind, what you believe you are, the thoughts that you believe, whatever that is part of a reality that's based in separation. We learn, I call it conditioning, we are conditioned to believe in separation. And some of us, me included, are conditioned to believe in not only in separation, but deficiency, not enoughness. So the point of my doing this, my making this video, I have no idea, what it's going to turn out to be, but is to say, when you feel hopeless, know that that is a feeling of a identified, personal, separate sense of self that I affectionately call pisos, within a duality reality that exists only within the possibility of separation. And because separation's impossible, it exists only as a dream within the oneness that you actually are. And there you go.
Oh, give me a
Oh wait, sorry,
home.
I forgot the first line. All right.
Oh,
I
give
come from
me a
Montana.
home,
I wear a
on the
bandana.
range, where
My
the
spurs
deer
are
and the
silver. My
antelope
pony is
play.
gray.
Where
When I go
seldom
out
is
riding
heard
through
a
thunder
discouraging
and
word,
lightning, with
and
the
the
boots
clouds
and the
on.
steer.
No, wait, I messed it up.
Where seldom is heard a discouraging word.
And this guy is on cloudy or gray.
Are not cloudy all day.
Uh-huh.
Or we can say or gray if you want.
Okay.
I come from Montana. I wear a bandana. My spurs are silver. My pony is gray. When I go out riding through thunder and lightning, with the boots and the stirrups, I gallop away. Home, home on the range, where the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day. Were you trying to harmonize at the end too, same as me?
No?
Oh, well, that was really good. Thank you. Yeah, I think I got it.